Allow your DMs to be some of the best places to meet your audience, and allow ghosting to just not be negative. Just decide ghosting doesn't mean a damn thing. It instead is a potential lead that's sitting in limbo. And you have 4 ways to allow them to make a more empowered decision through your mindset towards the ghosting, through friendly reminders, through aligned content about what their needs are, and of course, confirming that relationship. Being limitless is knowing your success and your growth are built on a radical belief in yourself. Limitless is honoring your purpose, your health, and impact above all else. Limitless is never playing small, because the more alive you feel in your life, the more growth and success you attract. Hi, my name is Jamie Ratermann, and I am a holistic business coach, meaning I am just as invested in growing your health as I am in growing your wealth. With 11 plus years in brand and social media marketing, I help rebellious entrepreneurs master marketing, embody leadership, and say fuck it to the hustle. This show is here to encourage you to become more radically aware of your self-imposed limits, to break free of your shoulds, and to expand your brand into a movement led by you. Hello, lovelies. Welcome to another episode of the Limitless Podcast. I hope you're doing well. How's your week been? I am gearing myself up for a launch of Marketing Mastery, which will be starting in the middle of June. So I'm really excited to get that moving. And a lot of what comes up with the launch is kind of getting myself set up of who I want to talk to and what I want to do. So today's episode, I want to talk about a method or something to incorporate whenever you are a business online that should be an everyday task, not just during a launch, but will help your launches in the process. But there's this caveat. So let me go ahead and just get into the episode, and then we'll be able to jump in. So what happens when you make a connection online in the DMs? This is what we're talking about today. What we share in our content and launching our offers here. The next stage is just normally starting a conversation with your most interested followers. So especially in the early stages of entrepreneurship, content alone will not turn into sales. In general, as you start to build a community, content is going to be a wonderful first introduction, but to really gain trust, you want to have that personal connection. The fastest track to your first sales is going to be to reach out and speak to the people who are interacting with you and would fall under your ideal clients. So marketing experts and I call this TDE, your total daily engagement. So how are you engaging with others to encourage connection and potentially the sale? So being able to have that direct conversation is allowing this person who may become your customer, your client, to feel known by the creator that they're already engaging with, or to, in general, start a conversation with somebody who might be seeking you out. So being able to know that if you are, building your community, this TDE, this conversations, this dating in the DMs is going to be the thing that should be higher on your priority list, even before content, especially when you're looking to generate sales month over month. So creating a daily practice of connecting with your community or your potential community. I just want to keep hitting that. Just if you don't have the large community of followers yet, but you want to seek out people who might be looking for you, that's a part of this too. But either way, this daily practice of connecting with your community has got to be the number one marker of success among my clients. The more that we build our network, our leads, and essentially our confidence in sharing our offers, everything else is gravy. Like if you know how to talk about your offers in the DMs, you're going to be able to talk about them in your content. You're going to be able to talk about them in your stories. In general, the sales calls even get a little easier. So being able to have this as a practice absolutely reverberates across other areas of your business for sure. But when it comes to thinking about what is your action that is the closest to a sale when you are looking to seek out leads, how well do you date in the DMs? That needs to be toward the top of your list. Now, I've always loved this phrase because it makes so much sense. Dating in the DMs. This is truly the mindset you want to have when you are starting a conversation in the DMs. There's something to be said about people who do their first outreach in the DMs and go, I hope this turns into an immediate sale. And then you're like, you just met them. It's kind of like whenever you have a friend that's like, I went on a first date. I think I'm going to marry him. You're just going okay. Well, can we talk about what you like about him first before we decide to get married? So this idea of, especially for any of my businesses that have high ticket offers, that you are going to be able to turn a sale by the first interaction, that might not be the best mindset to walk into it. So we really are dating. We really are trying to flirt, get to know people, and make sure that they're the right fit. And I think this is really important to be said. The dating in the DMs is just as much to encourage someone to buy from you as it is to see, like, is this a client that I can support? So having that two-way communication. So essentially, you are seeing if you connect well and you can chat about your interests, and then pitch them a long-term relationship, pitch them a, a committed relationship in its own way, to being able to, be in one of your products or services, or potentially be like a higher ticket client along the way. So they're really thinking about that. So this is where we get into this cold versus warm leads, what this actually looks like. So let's continue this context of good dating and bad dating, right? Everyone's been on a good date and a bad date. Everyone's been on the date where the person couldn't stop talking about themselves, and a date where you actually felt seen, heard, and just didn't want it to end. At least I hope you have at least had some of this type of experience, right? Or even too, if you've gotten hit on and you're like, wow, this person's coming on a little strong. All of this plays a role the exact same way when you are wanting to reach out to leads and go about it this way. So good dating looks like someone who has spent a little time on your profile and gets to observe what makes you special and why you think you're a good match. I'm going to tell you that this is a pet peeve of mine. For all of the people that love to reach out to me on LinkedIn, this is for you. And then recently I've gotten some random texts from people that somehow found me through LinkedIn, which again, got to figure these things out. If you don't take a moment to look at my profile, the fact that I literally share every single day, the fact that there's content that means a lot to me in there, and you just like reach out to me in a cold way, I'm ignoring you. This is why I want you to see that the social community, this ecosystem that we've created through social media, is prime ways to create these warm connections, these warm relationships with people, so that your pickup line, your pitch, any of those things has them in mind. And this is exactly what this is about. So bad dating is a vague connection followed by an early proposal of marriage without any real communication beforehand. You see what I'm doing here? So cold outreach to me, like I said, is one of the most frustrating things. You have all of these ways to actually create a warm invitation into what you could do, but instead I get something like, Jamie, I love your coaching. Would you like me to fill out your calendar with 150 sales calls a week? Can we talk about how clingy this is? That they're proposing that I fill my calendar with something ridiculous like that, and all they say is, I love your coaching. Clingy. Or maybe let's take it a step further. Like these cold outreach salespeople are kind of fuckboys, right? Like they want to get in without really getting to know who this person is and how they can truly help them. These are red flags to me. So again, using this context of dating in the DMs, take it to heart. Or the fact that the better you are at creating these warm connections in the DMs, the easier or the higher percentage you're going to get when you want to go ahead and pitch them the sale. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about today. We can definitely do a whole episode on about dating in the DMs. I just wanted to kind of tee this up. If you are absolutely going, okay, I want to do everything I can, I want to be nurturing my leads, you're going to run into what this next problem is. So the point I want to make here is, without a doubt, the more connection you truly can create with a potential lead using your previous interactions or content, the better. But what if you do all that? What if you do everything I've shared already, where you're like, okay, I love what they shared about their recent trip. I see that they drink the coffee that I also like. I see that they're looking for support. in like energy coaching, or they're looking for support and kind of releasing stress, or they're looking for support and growth. Okay, I see where I might be able to fit in there. So you've done that. You're starting to DM them. You're talking just as a regular part of a conversation, and then you get up to a certain point, and you're ready to pitch them. You're ready to talk about your offer. So what if you do all that, right? You connect with your ideal client. You have this fantastic content. They tell you that they love your vibe, and then you get those butterflies, right? Okay, things are going well. Things are going well in this DM conversation. Okay. You start a conversation, and the DMs are flowing. You feel the juice. There's some momentum here. It feels like you guys are connecting on a whole new way. And then you pitch them your offer. You're imagining them saying yes as you pitch them the offer. I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels like it's absolutely a hell yes already. But then this thing happens. Complete silence. Crickets. Somehow they're not responding to you as quickly as they did before, or they just don't respond at all. You've been ghosted, right? You've officially been ghosted. Nobody likes that feeling. Not at all. Usually the following thought spiral that follows is, what if they hate me for selling to them? And they thought, well, we were just friends. What if I came on too strong and now they're never going to work with me ever? Or why did I say that silly joke in that audio message? I'm so stupid. Woof, right? I know. I feel like for anyone who's listening, you could fill in a few more things that go through your mind as soon as someone just doesn't respond like they had to in the past. So let's get out of the negative spiral. Let's just like not even allow it to go to where we're going. And let's think about what we can do when we've been ghosted, because it is a normal occurrence. So for any of you who are doing the thing, creating these strong connections with your potential leads, I want you to leave this episode truly knowing what to do about it. So here are 4 things to do, or to really know when you get ghosted in the DMs. So first, we got to change our mindset. Getting ghosted does not always mean they are a no, or they're even a hell no, really. In fact, I'd love for you to see it as this potential lead, or this person that you've been connecting with might be in the feels, that they're actually sitting somewhere in a maybe yes, but are feeling shy to make the jump. That is what I want you to see being ghosted as. Because if they were a no and they felt confident in their no, they would say their no. If they were a yes and they've been waiting for this, they would say their yes. So whenever we kind of are in conflict or uncertain, we usually kind of like try to like not look at it, right? So if they've ghosted you, the most likely, in my opinion, the most likely response is that they're in their feels and they're a maybe yes, and just want to sit there for a little while and not feel pressure to make a quick decision. So people holding off responding can be a myriad of reasons. It can be like their money is going to another goal at the moment. They don't know if they're worthy of investing in themselves. They're not feeling confident enough just yet. They're thinking that they should be able to do it, like whatever you provide alone. They shouldn't have to spend the money. All of these can be reasons, and there's many more. So the biggest thing I want you to take away from that is, none of those reasons have a damn thing to do with you or what they think of you. We make buying decisions off of ourselves. What do we want? And then whoever we decide to buy from has something to do with being connected with them, but doesn't mean, oh, we don't like this person. So let's just like take that whole line of thought and reasoning out and go like, these aren't truths. It doesn't mean that they think any less of me. These aren't truths. They are making this decision for themselves, and I am allowed to give them that space. So instead of seeing getting ghosted as a no, see this as an opportunity to believe in yourself. So from this day forward, allow ghosting to mean that they are thinking about it, but want to say yes to you. Yeah, I know we're making this mindset shift. You might go, Jane, that sounds delusional. But I want you to go like, from this day forward, I'm going to allow ghosting to mean that they want to say yes, and whatever I do next is going to encourage a yes now or later. How about we just adjust that, right? So having this mindset, you can then release this tension you may feel and continue that conversation and others by getting grounded in knowing that you are magnetic. You are magnetic no matter what. You are worthy of a sale no matter what. It just may not be from this person at this very moment. So what you do next can help that come, right? Now, the next thought can be, were you ghosted or do they just need to be reminded? This is where this number 2 piece comes in, the friendly reminders. I'm going to like out myself a little bit here. I have the tendency to read a message and then get back on task of something I should have been doing instead, and then realize days later that I never replied. I'm going to admit that. Absolutely. Thank God that there's now the unread tool in iMessages, because whenever I get a message and I know I'm not going to be able to respond, I try to turn it on. But the guilt or like a feeling I have when I realize that I never responded to that person that was waiting for me to respond to them is something I hate. But it happens. We have so many things coming at us on a day-to-day basis. It happens. So I've gotten better, but the truth still remains that sometimes we just need to be reminded. If you feel that you've been ghosted, it's likely not about you. We are all busy and shit happens where we may forget to respond. So create a routine for yourself. So if you are pursuing this TDE, hanging out in people's DMs, talking and pitching to them on a regular basis, you get to decide how long you're going to wait before you send a follow-up. Because follow-up is usually where sales actually come from. And I'm being honest with you. More often than not, I don't get in. I'll, you know what? Like looking at the couple of sales that I've had in the past month, I would say that it's probably 60-40. 40% of the time it's people like getting that payment link email and they're ready to go, or that payment link DM and they're ready to go. 60% of the time it's a, hey, friendly follow-up. They're like, oh yes, let me jump in. Because it just happens that way. So being able to have that routine is really helpful. A message like, hi, Jamie, this is a friendly follow-up about my last message. I've had you on my short list and would simply like to hear if you are interested on what I pitched to you about X program or X product. Please let me know. Not this, why haven't you responded to me? Or like, I haven't heard from you. Like you're trying, you want to make sure that whatever your follow-up is, it's an encouraging way for them to take that next step. But this can go a long way. So this is one to remind me, but to also know that you can still hold a connection even if they didn't immediately jump in. Your ability to detach from wanting them to give you an immediate response is going to help you not get burnt out by doing this DM process, not get burnt out around sales. So keeping your selling conversations just as light as your friendly conversations is the goal here. Friendly reminders are going to help you out a lot, absolutely a lot. The next piece here is thinking about how the conversations you've had can turn into aligned content. So what if you've done the follow-up, nothing is still happening, and you want to take a step back and consider like, okay, what else did we talk about that might help me remind her in a different way, or remind this person a different way? It's your content. This is where you first kindled that first response, that love at first sight, if I'm keeping with this dating analogy here, right? So being able to play with, okay, she asked me about these types of problems that my ideal client regularly has. Why don't I at least create one piece of feed content or one story that's related to that, because I know she hangs out in my stories, or I know there's probably people just like her that might want to reach out to me, and now I have a very specific problem that I can create content around. All of this is really helpful for you as you connect. There is no better source for content than the questions and conversations you're having in your DMs. Like being able to use what potential leads have shared with you within your content that week is what ends up turning into sales. At best, it helps them come to a confident yes. They're like, oh, I saw your post and it reminded me of exactly what I want in my business, or exactly what I want in my life. Thank you for posting that. I am a yes. At the very least, if they see your face in the feed, if they see your face or account in a story, it's that reminder like, oh shoot, they did send me that message. I need to get back to them. So knowing that creating content is just another way to be visible to this person who's probably considering working with you, or probably considering buying from you. I think there's a really important piece here is that I've absolutely been able to turn no's into yeses using my content. And I've absolutely been able to get what felt like ghosting clients into yeses the same way. There was a client who was like, you know what? No, not right now. And in particular, that conversation, we had talked about how she didn't know how to stand out amongst other providers that were just like her. She was feeling like she was posting a ton all the time, doing all the things that everyone else was doing, but she wasn't able to like really get people who were just interested in what she was going to provide. So I heard the problem of, we're missing some branding. We're missing your ability to identify who you are, your brand story, so that you're not just the person that's giving out advice like every other brand is going to be doing. So I went live with a past client of mine who had that exact result. We talked about, letting your weird flag fly, letting your freak flag fly, and how that turned into better connections with potential clients, how that ended up being a way for people to realize, oh, this photographer is for me. We went through that whole live. Guess who was watching? guess who saw that I was live that day and was just kind of hanging out and watching? And guess who gave me a DM within 24 hours after saying, I saw the live, I'm in. I didn't have to be like, let me tell you why you have to join this program. Let me tell you why you should be responding to my messages. I just decided, I'm like, you know what? This is great fodder for content. Let me take a step back and do it a little bit differently. So this is where I want you to consider how aligned content can be a confidence builder for you, but also too, I know for a fact, the more that I can absolutely target the kind of ideas that I put out there related to the people that I love to come into my program, the more likely these sales are going to get a lot easier. So aligned content, think about that. Within this, last but not least, it is your responsibility to always leave a door open to that relationship. So it's not uncommon, especially in my mastermind, where I will have a client be like, they haven't responded to me. Like, I think they should at least give me a response. This is like so like annoying that they're not doing it. This is this whole frustration, right? That energy is transferable. I'm going to talk about this all the time. Like, we can read body language, and even more, I guess we can read virtual body language. Who knows? Who knows? But like, while nobody likes to be ghosted, most of us also don't like to do the ghosting ourselves. We don't want to hurt people's feelings, or at least I hope not. Maybe we've got a couple like, villains and evil people in here that love to do it. But for us compassionate ones, we may even feel really bad about it. So again, like that ghosting, like potential client of yours may in fact be very interested in working with you, but now may not be the right time. So you want to allow them to put you on their vision board, or your brand on their vision board, and so that they feel that they are invited whenever they are ready by leaving the door open. That's your responsibility. So any of those feelings, emotions, like anything that's going on with your nervous system because you're not getting a response from them, that's on you to manage. We're going to get grounded. We're going to release that as best we can, so that they can become a client in the future whenever they are ready. So this is normally where you've done, 2 or 3 follow-ups without a response, and you're going, okay, there's a natural lull in this conversation. It might feel maybe a little bit tense for you. It may feel a little tense for them because nothing's happened yet. This is where you encourage them, and also get grounded in yourself to let them know that you are still on good terms and would love to stay friends. This me going back to that dating reference. We're still friends. Don't worry. Like, even if though you're not interested right now, maybe you're interested in the future. Let me go ahead and leave this conversation open. So a message like, hi, Jolene, I hope you're doing well. I know I haven't heard from you around that offer. Please know that I would love the opportunity to support you in the future whenever you are ready. I'm here to chat anytime, and then reference things that you did before. I'm here to chat anytime about, my favorite my dog walks and music, and of course business, whenever you need the support. Like, allow like that conversation to reopen to a less salesy tone and into a more friendly place, knowing that in the future when they're like, you know what, I have her in mind, let me go ahead and reach out to her, they don't feel weird about it. So it's your responsibility to make sure that they feel that open door for whenever they're ready. There's nothing better than having someone who said, you've been on my vision board to work with for a while, and now I'm ready. I've had absolutely numerous clients that I pitched over a year ago who come into my business now, holding the vision that they will come when they're ready and that they can make these choices for them is absolutely what it is about committing to this entrepreneurship thing long term, allowing it to happen in the timeline that it's supposed to. Make sure, though, after you finish all of this, that you do actually continue to have a chat. So you do actually continue to respond to stories, or you do, in general, not just say you're going to be friends and then you never speak to them again. So being able to think about how this all plays a role. The only thing you can ever do wrong in the DMs is to take them personally and too seriously. Allow your DMs to be some of the best places to meet your audience, and allow ghosting to just not be negative. Just decide ghosting doesn't mean a damn thing. It instead is a potential lead that's sitting in limbo. And you have 4 ways to allow them to make a more empowered decision through your mindset towards the ghosting, through friendly reminders, through aligned content about what their needs are, and of course, confirming that relationship. This whole episode was inspired by some really important conversations that I had in Marketing Mastery, which I want to encourage you to consider because we are about to enter into our June crew. So Marketing Mastery is that program that is about unlaunching your business, truly. So when someone talks to me about what makes a good launch, it has a lot to do with what you did between each launch, and having the ability to know that you have leads, you have people who are in your community. The launch is just a way to get people excited about the opportunity to jump in with you. Not this, oh my gosh, I'm starting from zero. Who's going to come into this program or product? So especially with this next round of Marketing Mastery, I want to highlight how this program is about launching and unlaunching your business. Consistent income month over month. And we do that through a magnetic mindset. We're working on that, making sure you feel your leadership, brand messaging that is absolutely unique to you. You're not going to just be the tips and tricks person. You're going to actually stand out in that feed. And of course, money-making offers that you look forward to launching. This is what this is about. If you want to jump into the room, go ahead and hop in the show notes. But also too, I'm going to drop in the show notes a launch checklist so you can get a taste of what we may be coaching together on. So until next time, do not worry about those ghosting clients. See them as new opportunities. And of course, live a little more limitless.